What if true power isn't in what's spoken, but in what's never said? In Monaco, where the roar of supercars beats like the city's golden heartbeat, there exists a kingdom no one can see, yet everyone feels. They call it the Empire of Silence, a world where every glance, every toast of a glass, every silent gesture can shift the flow of millions. This isn't just a story about wealth. It's about the art of control without presence, about the few who don't need to appear to make the entire Riviera move in their favor. And at the core of this invisible web stands Zeus, the man whose quietest signal can turn luxury into legend. Before we step deeper into this untold empire, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Inside the Billionaires. You're about to uncover a side of Monaco that most eyes will never see. Because sometimes, the most powerful voice in the world is the one that speaks through silence. Power doesn't move through speeches or handshakes. It moves through whispers, nods, and the quiet transfer of trust. In Monaco, this unseen current is everywhere. You can't photograph it, you can't film it, but if you listen closely, you'll feel it pulsing beneath the glittering streets like a heartbeat of gold. Behind every moment of luxury, a yacht docking at midnight, a Bugatti gliding past the casino, a gala that seems effortless, there's a hidden network of minds that make it all flow perfectly. Lawyers, bankers, art dealers, private concierges, and even chauffeurs form the nervous system of Zeus's empire. Each one plays a part. Each one follows an unspoken rhythm that keeps his silent dominion alive. No one calls him directly. There are no emails, no signatures, only patterns. A flower arrangement sent to the right suite means a deal is ready. A change in dinner seating signals an alliance. Even the color of a tie or the timing of a flight can whisper Zeus's next move. It's an orchestration so refined that even those inside it don't always realize who conducts the music. They say in this world, efficiency is elegance and secrecy is service. The greatest skill isn't how fast you move, but how invisible you can be while everything moves around you. The butler who knows when to disappear, the banker who never repeats a name, the broker who arranges miracles without ever being seen, these are the true architects of silence. Through this network, Zeus doesn't rule by force. He rules by flow, the seamless movement of loyalty, information, and influence that never needs to be shouted because it's already understood. His power isn't measured in titles or headlines, it's measured in how many people move when he doesn't say a word. But what if one day, that flow is interrupted? What happens when a single whisper goes missing, and the entire invisible empire begins to tremble? Every empire has its heartbeat, and in the Empire of Silence, that heartbeat doesn't roar like an engine. It moves with the quiet grace of a woman. She's not seen often, yet when she appears, Monaco itself seems to pause. They call it the Queen Effect, the subtle force that turns whispers into movement and elegance into command. Her presence doesn't announce authority, it defines it. One look across a gala table, one quiet conversation at the Hôtel de Paris, one delicate nod in a corridor, and entire schedules shift. Invitations are rewritten, deals change hands. She doesn't speak for Zeus, yet her actions echo his intent with uncanny precision. It's as if the empire itself breathes through her decisions. To outsiders, she's just another figure in couture and diamonds, gliding through champagne light. But to the insiders, the bankers, the hosts, the artists, her timing is everything. When she attends, it's a signal. When she withdraws, it's a warning. Every appearance is a carefully written message, sent not through words, but through presence. The Queen Effect isn't about gender or beauty, it's about control through perception. She shapes the emotional weather of the room. The way her hand touches a glass can set the tone for an entire negotiation. Her absence can end an alliance before it even begins. Zeus built the structure. But she keeps the rhythm. Those who've seen her influence describe it like a wave, quiet, mesmerizing, and unstoppable. It's not just power, it's choreography. A dance between silence and significance that keeps Monaco's elite orbiting in perfect formation. But every dance has a limit, and when the music changes, even the most graceful step can falter. What happens when the queen's silent influence begins to draw eyes, not admiration? In a world where silence is currency, the most powerful people aren't the ones giving orders, they're the ones who decide who gets to hear them. These are the gatekeepers of Monaco, the quiet custodians who guard the empire's invisible doors. You'll never see their names in magazines, but without them, even Zeus's world would collapse into noise. They stand behind every moment of perfection. The concierge who can move mountains with one phone call, the yacht manager who rearranges harbors overnight, the event director who decides who sits next to whom at a gala worth billions. Each gatekeeper holds a key that doesn't open locks, but opens access. And in a place like Monaco, access is power. To the untrained eye, they're simply service people, polite, professional, forgettable. But within the empire of silence, they're high priests of discretion. They decide which names appear on guest lists, which deals are whispered in private lounges, and which secrets never reach the air. A single word from them can make a new millionaire or erase one from existence, quietly and completely. Every movement is a ritual. A handshake means approval, a delayed message means denial. Even the smallest gesture, the way an envelope is delivered, the tone of a maybe, carries the weight of unspoken command. And none of it happens by accident. Every choice is calculated, rehearsed, and executed with surgical precision. What makes them loyal isn't money, it's belonging. Once you're inside this circle of trust, you protect it as if it were life itself. They don't serve Zeus because they fear him. They serve him because they understand him. They thrive in the same silence he rules. But in a kingdom where loyalty is never written down, what happens when one of these invisible guards decides to open the wrong door? Money talks. But in Monaco, the most powerful money doesn't make a sound. It moves quietly, crossing borders, changing hands, and shaping destinies without leaving a trace. They call it silent money, the invisible bloodstream of Zeus's empire, where every transaction is a whisper and every number carries meaning far beyond its value. This isn't about bills or banknotes. It's about symbols, art pieces that never reach public galleries, properties that are never listed, and investments that exist only as coordinates in a private network. Silent money buys more than luxury. It buys influence, trust, and sometimes silence itself. Imagine a painting traded not for price, but for access. A yacht purchase that's really an introduction. A foundation donation that quietly rearranges social circles. Every move in this hidden economy is coded. The kind of currency that builds relationships instead of balances. At the heart of it all lies an ecosystem of perfection. Private bankers who speak in metaphors, advisors who seal deals with a single look, and lawyers who turn words into invisible walls of protection. They don't just manage wealth, they choreograph it. Every movement must be elegant, every decision irreversible, every outcome deniable. To understand Zeus's reach, you have to follow the rhythm of this silent money. It funds the art exhibitions that define taste, the galas that determine alliances, and the architecture that rewrites Monaco's skyline. It is money with manners, discreet, deliberate, and devastatingly effective. And yet, this silence comes at a cost. The more perfect the system, the more fragile it becomes. When everything depends on unspoken trust, even a rumor, one misplaced word can ripple like a crack through crystal. Because in the empire of silence, when money finally makes a sound, it's already too late. In Zeus's world, there are no written contracts, only codes. No one signs papers or makes promises out loud because in the empire of silence, words are fragile, but rules are eternal. This is the code of silence, a set of laws so powerful that everyone obeys them. Not because they're forced to, but because breaking them means vanishing from the game forever. The first rule, never speak louder than your worth. Here, humility isn't weakness, it's armor. The wealthiest people in Monaco often say less than anyone else. They know that silence hides strength and noise attracts questions. The second rule, presence is privilege. To be invited means you belong. To overstay means you've been forgotten. Every dinner, every yacht event, every private gala is a silent audition for trust. Appear too often and you look desperate. Appear too rarely and you fade. The masters of this world move like shadows, visible only when they choose. And the third rule, never expose the source of power. No one names Zeus directly. He exists as an idea, a rhythm that moves through others. Even the queen, the gatekeepers, and the bankers know their positions, vital but temporary. The empire runs on alignment, not ownership. Inside this code, etiquette becomes weaponry. The way you leave a room says more than any speech. The timing of a glance can decide your fate. Those who follow the code rise effortlessly. Those who break it never get a second chance. There's no confrontation, no scandal, only silence. One day you're on every list. The next, you simply disappear. The code of silence is what keeps Zeus's empire from collapsing under its own perfection. It's the glue between elegance and control, between mystery and power. It's what separates the players from the audience, and the rulers from the ruled. But codes only hold as long as everyone believes in them. So what happens when someone inside the circle stops playing by the rules and decides to speak? In the Empire of Silence, power isn't shouted, it's worn. Every detail, every object, every gesture becomes a message only the initiated can read. This is the language of symbols, the psychology of luxury that speaks louder than words ever could. For most people, a car is transportation, a watch is a tool, a home is shelter. But for Zeus and the circle that surrounds him, these things are not possessions, they're statements. A limited edition supercar parked discreetly by the Monte Carlo harbor isn't showing off, it's proof of belonging. A watch glimpsed only for a second under a cuff is a signature in motion. Each item is chosen not for its price, but for what it says in silence. To outsiders, it looks effortless, but inside this coded world, every symbol has weight. The yacht represents reach, the penthouse, permanence, the tailored suit, discipline. Even the color palette, muted whites, deep blues, brushed gold, is intentional. These are not coincidences, they're hieroglyphs of wealth, a vocabulary of dominance. And there's genius in restraint. The more powerful the symbol, the quieter it becomes. Those who truly understand this psychology know that excess is noise and silence is sophistication. That's why Zeus's empire never screams luxury, it breathes it. The art of understatement is the ultimate armor. It shields the powerful from envy and disguises control as calm. This silent aesthetic extends beyond possessions. It's a performance of mastery, the way someone enters a room, the way they speak with pauses instead of persuasion, the way they leave before applause. Every move, choreographed to project one message: I don't need to prove power, because I am power. To the untrained eye, it's invisible. To those who know, it's unmistakable. In Monaco's golden maze, symbols are currency, and Zeus is fluent in every dialect. But symbols can outlive their masters. And when they begin to speak louder than the man himself, who truly owns the empire, Zeus or the myth he created. Every kingdom faces its rebels. In the Empire of Silence, rebellion doesn't come with swords or scandals, it comes with noise. The new generation of wealth, the digital royals, don't hide in the shadows. They live through lenses, share every breakfast, every car, every glittering night. And to them, silence isn't power, it's irrelevance. These are the challengers, the ones who trade mystery for attention, who believe visibility is victory. They arrive in Monaco with their cameras, their entourages, their hashtags, confident that they can outshine the old guard. But what they don't realize is that every post, every public appearance is a test. In a world built on quiet control, their noise is a declaration of war. At first, the old elite watch with amusement. After all, attention fades, power endures. But when one influencer's party disrupts a long-planned auction, when a careless video captures faces meant to stay unseen, the game shifts. The invisible network begins to close ranks. Invitations stop arriving. Doors that once opened effortlessly now stay locked. To outsiders, it looks like coincidence, but within the empire, everyone understands. The silence is striking back. The very algorithms that made these newcomers famous suddenly turn cold. Their fame becomes a cage, their access revoked. The quiet order of Monaco reclaims itself, reminding everyone that true influence never begs to be noticed. Still, something has changed. The world beyond the Riviera craves spectacle, and the line between elegance and exposure grows thinner every year. The challenges are many, and for the first time, the empire must adapt or risk being outshouted. And somewhere in that tension, between the fading quiet and the rising noise, a question echoes. When the silence breaks, will Zeus step forward or vanish deeper into the shadows? In every legend, there's a face, but in this one, there isn't. Zeus's greatest power is not his wealth, not his empire, but his absence. In Monaco, where everyone is desperate to be seen, he's the one man who built an empire by disappearing. No public appearances, no interviews, no performances, yet his name ripples through every conversation whispered behind champagne glasses. His absence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. While others chase visibility, Zeus understands the psychology of mystery. The less people see, the more they imagine. And imagination is the most powerful currency of all. Every rumor, every theory, every photograph that almost captured him, all become part of the mythology that sustains his rule. He doesn't fight to control the story, he simply allows others to build it for him. Some say his silence keeps the empire in balance. If he spoke, the illusion would vanish. If he appeared, the legend would shrink. His influence is designed like a gravitational field, unseen yet inescapable. Deals close under his name, alliances form in his shadow, and fortunes rise or fall at the rhythm of his unseen hand. And yet, even the most invisible ruler leaves traces. A jet flight rescheduled without reason. A charity donation from an anonymous source. A private dinner where a single empty chair signals his approval. Those who recognize the signs call it the presence of absence. To the outside world, it's speculation. To the insiders, it's doctrine. Zeus doesn't need to stand on a stage to command attention. His silence fills the room more completely than any speech ever could. But there's a paradox to every myth. The more invisible he becomes, the more the world demands to see him. And in a time where every secret eventually leaks, can even the master of silence remain untouchable forever? Because somewhere beyond the golden lights of Monaco, a new lens is focusing. And for the first time, the Empire of Silence might be seconds away from showing its face. Every empire eventually leaves a mark, not on maps, but in memory. The Empire of Silence was never about walls or crowns. It was about control, elegance, and the unseen rhythm that makes power timeless. In Monaco, where every light reflects a secret, Zeus turned absence into authority and silence into strategy. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. True power doesn't need to shout. It simply is. It moves quietly, patiently, shaping the world while others compete for attention. And maybe, in our own way, we're all searching for that kind of presence, the ability to be felt even when unseen. If this story made you look at luxury, mystery, and influence in a different light, take a second to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for Inside the Billionaires. Your support helps this channel keep uncovering the worlds that few ever get to see. Thank you for watching, for thinking, and for diving with me into the silence where legends are born. Because in the end, the question isn't who speaks the loudest, but who leaves the echo that never fades.